everyone, thanks so much for joining me. In this video we're going to be covering wrists. This is the third in the installment on sort of wrist relief, and in the first video we used massage as a technique. In the second one it was counter resistance with the ground, and with this one we're going to be reaching the arms out to the sides, overhead, out in front of us, back behind us, and noticing how each position has an impact on the wrists as well as the shoulders and the neck without ever putting the hands on the ground. There's a surprising amount of work in this, and hopefully bringing some awareness and some techniques that might help you in your yoga practice. So we'll go ahead and scooch way on back to the mat. Hopefully you'll be able to see my hands and such in all the different positions. But first, start out in a comfortable seated, whether you're in a chair, on the ground, and just check in with how you feel in your shoulders, your neck, just kind of getting a baseline, and we'll continue to check in as we go. So hands starting out together. So just getting a sense here, when you press your hands into one another, how do you feel at your wrists? And does it stop the flow of your breath? If so, restore the flow of your breath. How do you feel around your neck and shoulders? And what amount of pressure can you apply, without it creating any sort of pain? No feeling like you're pinching anything. And do you feel symmetrical, as far as the sense of openness? If not, is there anything you can tweak? So we're trying to keep those channels open throughout all the joints and access strength below the neck rather than overtaxing the neck. So now we'll go ahead and turn so that the palms are away from each other. So the backs of the hands are pressing into each other. And again, check in. This is going to be more of a challenge to your shoulders. Make sure you're breathing. You can kind of move the hands a little bit and just testing. How is your range of motion? And you know what? Let's go ahead and do that again here. So how does it feel around your shoulders and neck as you move your hands? Your forearm wrists. All right. And are you still breathing? So our first pretend counter resistance, or bringing in the counter resistance from within ourselves, our own intention, is we're going to take the arms out in front. And I'm just going to turn, to give you a sense of how my spine is organized. So still sitting nice and tall and taking your arms out in front. So this would be like plank pose. All right. So you want to just kind of make sure, you're not ungrounded. You're not so forcing the groundedness that you're pinching around your shoulder blades. But finding that right position where if you had your hands up at a wall, you would feel seamless channels, not cut off at any place. All right. So spreading the fingers, rooting across your palms, and just noticing how you feel. So what happens if you shift your hands so that the index fingers are pointing straight up? And then how does it feel when your middle fingers are pointing straight up? How does it feel when you take your thumbs closer toward each other? And your neck, shoulders, breath. How does it feel as you take your hands wider? And finding that right place. All right. And then neutral with the wrist and press them. So that the backs of the hands are pressing. Head of the arm bones back, lengthening the spine. Breathing, maybe feeling the fatigue. Just in the work. This is work. Imagine you're pushing down on a surface, and do you feel that you'd be working evenly across your palms? So all of these things, bringing awareness into our patterns, and things we might be able to be aware of in life on and off the mat. One more breath right here. And release. Good. And just check in. Check in with your shoulders. Check in with your neck. So we're hoping throughout this to become more and more aware of our strength, all along the sides, the abs, the muscles all along the spine, without overtaxing wrists, at any joint, But we tend, when we, all our energy sort of descends rather than pulling energy up, we overburden our wrists, and also because of that, it's also creating tension up the neck, rather than feeling that we have any sort of access to strength along the sides. Okay, so we're going to go from here to take the arms up. Now, as we do this, we'll be passing through organization of downward facing dog to handstand. Okay, so wrists neutral, head of the arm bones back, sitting nice and tall. Feel free at any time to swap out which leg is in front. Okay, but lengthen the spine. Okay, hugging energy, so you're bringing energy up and hugging energy in toward the midline. At this point, your wrist could be flexed or neutral, completely up to you, but just start to slowly reach your arms up and notice, okay, would you feel more comfortable if the arms were a little wider out to the sides, closer toward each other? Would you feel more secure? Okay, how are your fingers still reaching actively? At this diagonal line, if you pushed against some sort of surface, again, would you feel that you're rooting across your palm evenly? Okay, if not, how can you correct it? And what is the impact? Okay, and then passing through handstand, okay, feeling the work here. Again, exploring arms maybe a little wider, a little narrower. As you're flexing at the wrists, pressing up into the ceiling or an imaginary resistance. Okay, can you still keep the fingers reaching, or do they want to, scrunch up? Okay, so can you keep this sense of power, breath, the challenge, and yet keep the neck free? So you're feeling the strength along the sides, the abs, the back muscles, the leg muscles, the glutes. Okay, and then releasing. Okay, checking in. All right, so we want to be able to do plank, down dog, maybe a handstand without all the tension coming up. Okay, so we've got those several. Now we're going to reach the arms out to the sides, and this would be warrior two arms, side plank arms, triangle, so anything where the arms are going out to the sides. Okay, so checking in. I'm going to go ahead and switch out which leg is in front here. All right, so head of the arm bones back, base of the skull back, spine really nice and lengthened. Okay, let's start here just with the elbows bent out to the sides and just feeling, okay, your right placement, and then extending the arms out to the sides, okay, and being intentional about this, okay? So arm bones nice and snug, lengthen spine. Pretend you're pressing down onto some sort of surface, and can you feel where does the engagement occur? Can you feel it along the sides, lifting up the abs, lengthening, right? Creating a sense of lightness, okay? Or are you feeling overtaxed around neck and shoulders? So try to modify, okay? Tweak your position. And now, okay, let's flex at the wrists, okay? And breathe and lengthen. This always makes me, every time I do this, it always makes me think about Star Wars when they're, what is it? Really, it's the episode 4 or something when they're pushing right out of that compact, right? Oh, anyway. Okay, so reaching through the fingers, reaching through the thumbs, and noticing how you feel at your wrists. How do you feel at your neck? Are you breathing? Are you pushing? Okay, pushing as well as pulling. Okay, so we have that both ways. It's a balanced energy, balanced force. Okay, all right, lengthen. Now wrist neutral, and send the backs of your hands away, and notice the impact. Okay, shoulders, neck, or strength, empowered strength. Can you keep your fingers, okay, reaching, lengthening? I know we're getting tired. Okay, neutral, and release. So fatigue, okay, effort, but hopefully, wow, right? Freedom, I hope, right? An actual decrease in tension around the neck, okay? Work in the wrists, but not pinching, not pain. Okay, so how can we effectively, safely strengthen everything so that we can free up tension? Okay, so the way we think about tension in a negative way. Can we engage the muscles in a powerful way, okay, that it actually releases that sort of clogging, pinchy feeling that can so often occur. So for the last way we're going to do this is with the arms back behind. So in this one, it would be like Purvottanasana or reverse plank, any sort of thing with the arms back behind, where anything out in front and out to the sides, the head of the arm bone here, the upper arm section is in an external rotation, and the lower half of the arm is balancing out the action in an internal that actually switches up. When you take the arms back behind, the upper arms go into an internal rotation, okay, and the lower half of the arms balance it out in a slight external rotation. You may or may not be aware of it, but if you at all get a sense of feeling kind of numb in the arms, you'll want to check in with your organization. So taking the arms back behind, you can always start out with your fingers on the ground, but if you can at some point, lift up and just get a sense of how you feel around your shoulders, neck, okay, and then if you can here, working to flex, okay, without trying not to have my fingers on the ground, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, you're just trying to keep a consistency with what we've been doing, okay, and can you keep your index fingers pointing forward? Okay, they're going to want to turn out, right, because we're so used to all that external rotation. So we're still trying to keep energy up, in toward the midline. You can feel the work, right, to try to keep a sense of lightness in the wrists, okay, good, and breathing. So again, a couple more breaths here, energy up, in toward the midline. Can you reach the fingers evenly, lengthen the spine. Let's take the palms now so that we're going to try to reach them up, and the backs of the hands pressing into something, some imaginary something, okay, checking in. Are we still breathing? Okay, and then neutral and release and check in. Check in with your wrists, your shoulders, your neck. So positive result, okay, would be, we could feel tired, we can feel fatigued, okay, we worked, right, you can feel the heat, okay, of the effort, but hopefully neck and shoulders feel freer, all the joints feel good, and we have more of a sense of our strength and power that is within us, all below the neck and shoulders. So we want to be able to access all of that, and when we do, when we're organized, okay, and we have these seamless open channels, and we can harness our strength, then we will feel so much less in the way of negative tension, okay, in those areas that tend to be problematic. So I hope that this gave you some relief in the wrists as well as all the way up and down, and I would love to hear from you. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.